Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Thanks for being with us here. Late night start here, 11 o'clock. Hawks beat the Calgary Flames 4-3 at the Assel Dome in Calgary. Boy, oh boy, that was Calgary. We've been trying to workshop how to add ass to Calgary all night. We are open for suggestions because it's not really, it doesn't flow.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That team just has me so flustered right now.
Yeah, they needed that win in a big way, and they just got their asses swept by the Blackhawks. We'll talk about it. Make sure if you are in the chat on YouTube or on our YouTube video, smash that like button for us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way down there. We'd appreciate that. If you're listening on your podcast apps, that's cool too. Make sure you're following us or subscribe there. And by all means, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That would be greatly appreciated. So, fellas, you look at this game, and it should have been a loss. Hawks are outshot 36-23. The Hawks were better in the first period, outshooting the Flames 11-7, but then it was 19-4 and 10-8 in the third. Calgary was the better team in this one, but as it's been a thorn in their side all year, Jacob Markstrom, who was outstanding last season, was flat out bad in this one again, and it cost Calgary another 2 points. And guess how many points they are out of the last wild card spot?
I'm going to guess 2.
2.
Yeah.
How does this happen? It's crazy.
They earned one of a possible 6 points against the Blackhawks this year. That's
why they're not making. Well, it's not the only reason they're making.
Not the only reason, but it could be a big reason.
I don't get. I picked this team to win the Western Conference heading into this season.
You and a lot of people.
Yeah, that's not an asinine pick by any means.
They added.
It's not
they
a
added.
asinine
They
pick.
added Huberdeau. They added Kadri.
Yeah.
Uyghur.
I mean, they got bigger. They got more like playoff hockey. They got more. They got a team that fit the style of Daryl Sutter, who should be fired by now. Like, I don't know what they're doing. This guy usually takes 3 years for him to lose his team. It's taking him 1. Go home, Daryl Sutter. Go back to your farm.
Yeah.
Bale your hay and just have a nice life because you suck. This team should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, it's the Sutter thing is strange because he has this almost like this untouchable kind of feel to him where he's like this hockey lifer, and it seems like a kind of guy that can't get fired regardless of how bad they do. If they don't make the playoffs,
he has to get fired.
I know. Like, look, there's a lot of guys on that team that have underperformed. You look at their offensive numbers. Jonathan Huberdeau has 54 points now when he had 100+ last year. Like, a lot of guys are underperforming. But when you have an entire roster of underperformers, that's the coach.
You can't fire.
That's the point. That's his job.
Fire the entire roster. The coach loses his job.
Right.
And I love having Sutter in the game because he's funny. He said Jonathan Huberdeau had to go take a shit earlier this year. It cracks me up.
It's great.
He's old school, and I like
that.
Who
else has been taking a shit behind the bench the whole season? Daryl Sutter.
Yeah, really. It's just, boy, it is. I know this is not the CLGR podcast, but it's just you expected this one to be the 9th loss in a row, considering what was at stake for the Calgary Flames. And look, they're a team like once they're in, you can convince me they can go deep into the Western Conference playoffs.
To get in.
But they got to get in, and you got literally the worst team in hockey coming to your home arena after losing 8 games in a row, and you lose. That's brutal. That is brutal.
Yep.
If I'm a Calgary fan, I am livid tonight.
Because if they get in as the 8th seed, they're gonna play someone like Vegas or Dallas or Minnesota. They can beat those teams in 7 games.
Of course.
If Markstrom performs. Like
That's the
Calgary is that
biggest
team
question.
I don't want to play if I'm in one
I
of
agree.
those Western Conference teams.
Yep.
Now they're not going to have to worry about it. I mean, they still can get in. It's not over. Winnipeg can't win a game to save their lives either. So, but man, it's just if I was a Calgary Flame fan right now, I would be livid.
Yeah.
Absolutely livid.
Yeah, justifiably.
So yeah, it's
How many times do we see, these teams that are built for the playoffs or should be contenders, and then it's goaltending that just sinks them. Like look at Edmonton over the last few years.
Yep.
Where it's just like you have this offensive juggernaut led by McDavid and Draisaitl. Yeah, their defense has been shoddy, but even behind that, make a save once or twice, and that team could be anywhere.
Trot out Mike Smith for multiple seasons in a row. You get what you deserve.
That's your problem. Yeah.
Calgary tried that too and learned the hard. They at least smartened up and said, "Nah, we'll trade this guy to Edmonton."
That's true. Yeah.
But
you got Markstrom again. Like it's
goaltending wasn't supposed to be a weakness. That was why I picked them to go to the Stanley Cup final, because Markstrom was coming off that huge season.
Yeah.
And I figured, hey, they got some bigger. They're a bigger, heavier team that fits the style of Daryl Sutter even more. And you got this Vezina finalist goaltender who just has been broken this year. So, yeah, I mean, I know this is a Blackhawks podcast, but it's. I want the Flames to get in the playoffs just so we can see those uniforms.
Yeah, seriously.
At least tonight was a very aesthetically pleasing game with the Blackhawk whites and those beautiful Flames uniforms that they should have never gotten rid of. But, man, I would have loved to see, we still might get it, but I would love to see another Edmonton-Calgary playoff series.
That'd be great.
Man, that's fun.
Yeah.
I want the Flames in the playoffs because I think they're a good team and will be a good matchup against some of these other teams. That's what I care about. I want good Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yep. I agree with you.
Because that's all we have.
Frustrating. And Calgary is a team that last year I found myself rooting for. I like a lot of guys on the team. There's no one to really hate. But yeah, it's disappointing. But there was some good stuff happening tonight for the Blackhawks, despite being outplayed as they are pretty much every night, just based on talent. You had 2 goals from Andreas Athanasiou, his 4th goal in his last 3 games. He played really, really well. Just missed having a hat trick late in the game. Lukas Reichel with a pair of assists, both of them very nice, very
nice
beautiful plays. So he had now he's up to 11 points in 17 games played, which is a 48-point pace over an 82-game stretch. You had Austin Wagner scoring his first goal as a Hawk. Jujhar Khaira puts the puck in the back of the net. It's
Jonathan Toews gets an
Jonathan
assist.
Toews gets an assist, gets a star of the game. He's got 2 assists since his return to the lineup. So there are definitely some positives. Let's start. We were talking about Athanasiou off the air a little bit, and as we're looking ahead to next season and we're looking ahead to trying to hit that cap floor, I think Athanasiou makes a lot of sense to bring back. I really do. I know we've been kind of eyeing Max Domi, and they're obviously not. One doesn't exclude the other.
No,
but Athanasiou is a guy I wouldn't mind keeping around for another year.
If he wants to do it, I think that it would be completely fine. If you want to bring him back on an identical deal, or maybe a little cheaper, that'd be fine. I think you could do a lot worse than Andreas Athanasiou. And look, like, this is a team that next year you're still going to need some of that veteran presence. You're still going to need guys to, produce some offensive pop, which he can do from time to time. So I think the idea of bringing him back doesn't. I don't think rocks the boat at all. I think maybe for him, we saw him stay at the trade deadline, so maybe the market for him wasn't as enticing as a trade piece as maybe previously expected when he was brought in on a 1-year, $3 million deal, very flippable. But I wonder what the free agent market would be for him, because if I'm him, I think it'd be great to continue to play in an elevated role with the Blackhawks, but also, maybe it would be nice to be on a contending team at some point. And I think he probably had the expectations that he'd be ending this season with a contending team and not still here. But if the Blackhawks wanted to extend an offer to him for next season, and he felt like it was worth it for him for his career, I have no problems with that. You're going to need someone like him next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his phone's going to be ringing off the hook July 1st.
No.
You know, I think the fact he wasn't moved at the deadline kind of makes me think contending teams know the book that's out there on him.
He's exactly what we thought he was going to be.
Yeah, he's got speed, and then every once in a while he has a game like tonight. You know, he's obviously got some good chemistry with Lukas Reichel going. Those two have been really well together. So, yeah, I mean, as you said, you got to spend the money somewhere. You bring Max Domi back. You bring Athanasiou back. It's not the worst thing in the world, but who knows? You know, he
bring everybody back, and we'll have the same record as as this year, next year, and we'll be right back in the lottery.
Bring back Jack Johnson, who scored a goal tonight.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, way to go,
Ruining
Jack
our
Johnson.
tank.
Yeah.
Jack.
A big thing about Athanasiou coming into this deal too was not just production, but health. He hasn't been very healthy over the last few years. Only played 28 games last year, 47 the year before. So I think that was part of the reason why his value is down a little bit. He's played, I think, every game this year, 76 games. Maybe he missed one or something.
Tonight was game 77.
Yeah, so he's missed one game.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
So I mean that's part of it. And again, as he's kind of weighing things, the Hawks can probably pay him a little more because they need to get to the cap floor. He's going to have a top 6 opportunity the entire year again.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, he gets to play with Connor Bedard or Adam Fantilli, and then next deadline, he's the guy that you move at the deadline or can get some assets for, right? I don't know. For me, the mindset is it's just money. The Hawks have to spend money. Why not bring him back and see if you can get more production? He's got 31 points this year, 33 points this year.
He could easily be over 50.
That's not bad.
He probably should be over 50.
He should be flirting with 50,
Yeah,
with the amount of chances he's had.
As Mongo says, AA is really accurate when he's not skating. It's
Yeah.
the truth.
How about that?
We said that the other night when he what was that
It was a power play goal, and he was standing still.
Yeah, and earlier in the game he used his speed and then skated right past the puck. We said he's the fastest guy on your team. Unfortunately, he can only score when he's not skating. But I know we give him a lot of crap, but I don't. You bring him back, I think you're going to get probably the same thing you got this year. I don't think he's at the point where he's going to all of a sudden find it and reach that potential that he had when he was a younger player, that the Red Wings thought he was going to be a star. But, bring him back. Sure. Why not? I mean, next year is much like this year where you're not going for wins and losses. You're going to need some veteran guys. Luke Richardson talked about that just ahead of the Sunday game against the Devils, or Saturday night game against the Devils. He was asked, and there's some good sound clips. I saved that audio. We'll play it as we get into the off season. But he talked about what we've been saying all season. You just can't bring the Rockford Ice Hogs up next year. You got to have guys like that. He mentioned Max Domi. You got to have guys like that to play. Next year is not about wins and losses. There will be more intriguing players. There will be more younger players that could be part of this when we're good again.
Yep.
So you can't. If you bring back Andreas Athanasiou, I'm not gonna be mad. If you don't,
You're not gonna be mad.
I'm not gonna be mad.
Right?
It's a roster spot. Helps us get to the salary cap floor, and you get some decent production. And he can take advantage and play. Obviously Luke Richardson likes him, and he's been playing him with Lukas Reichel and playing him down the middle, and it's been working.
Well, Reichel is a guy who's going to be here next year, seemingly for 82 games. We're going to get to him next, but first we want to welcome back our friends from Shady Rays. Believe it or not, spring and summer is coming, allegedly.
I think so.
Take on the sun with
I
gear
don't believe
built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. They're an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They're durable, and the clarity is amazing on those things. I absolutely love them, and that's not it. They offer an insane protection program. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by a lost and broken replacement plan. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back after your purchase. And they are also providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact, from building playsets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code CHGO for 50% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. That's 250,000 people, damn it. shadyrays.com, code CHGO for 50% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. For those that don't math, like me, that's buy one, get one free. There you go, shadyrays.com.
Yeah, and speaking of being bright and lights and lighting, that you need sunglasses, well, our friends at ComEd have their great energy efficiency program, and it's committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future. Who doesn't want more energy and lower bills? If you don't, something's wrong with you. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across their territory. Customers can inquire about how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights. Learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device and track your facility's energy usage and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor, outdoor lighting, and network lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. If you want to get start saving money and energy, go visit comed.com/poweringbiz, B-I-Z, right now, and they will hook you up with tons of ways to save on those energy bills.
Lukas Reichel finishes the game, the 4-3 win over the Calgary Flames, with a pair of assists. He was a +1, 13:41 of ice time, kind of low. Did not register a shot on goal or a shot attempt, and had 1 hit credited. So a pretty empty score sheet on the right side of the box score. But the 2 assists are what matters. And I got to say, both assists, kind of like no look. He's really starting to feel it. And if you've listened to Luke Richardson's post games over the last few games, he's been really impressed with not only Reichel's development, but his coachability, right? He seems to be getting the message on how to play in all zones and those sort of things. And we often talk about the blue lines, right? Who has the best blue lines? Reichel was second best on the Hawks without registering a shot attempt. That tells you that he's doing the little things right. And yeah, assists go into that, that math equation too. But the fact that he's having such an effective impact without just peppering the goalie with shots and shot attempts, that says a lot to me. And you keep hearing Luke Richardson say it about how, he's getting the message. They're going over film, and they'll go over film before a game, and they'll see adjustments in that game, and those adjustments remain. You guys should be really excited about Lukas Reichel. I wrote about him today for my Blackhawks beat at allchgo.com. Check that out if you'd like. But it's just, that's the reason, if I was not in this job and I was just a Hawks fan at home, Lukas Reichel is the main reason I'm watching the rest of this season.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be the main reason that a lot of people are going to be watching next season too, because I think we're in this stretch of games, of all the NHL games he's played, this last stretch is where his development has really shined. And that 3-game stint that he had in January, where he scored a couple of goals, had put up a couple of points, and we were like, wow, he's finally arrived. Like, it was only a short stint, and it was only just like a little burst of like, oh, okay, like we're seeing him now. Now we get to see him for an extended period of time. The plan is for him to end the season in the NHL before going back to the AHL. We're going to get a couple more games of him, but seeing all the little facets of his game that have developed from this time last year when he was getting call-ups, like it's a big improvement, and it's very encouraging to see a player like him where, the expectations are high. He's one of the first prospects that's going to arrive that we all feel like is part of the rebuilding process. And, the early returns on him becoming more of a full-time NHL player are very encouraging. So I think it, like you wrote about, like it speaks to kind of the path of development that the Blackhawks are investing in. And I think that's the kind of the blueprint you're going to see with most prospects. Take some time, play in Rockford for a season or two. You're not going to be thrown into the NHL just because you're a top prospect. Like, if you need time to develop, you're going to get it. And I think they've done the right thing with Reichel, and now we're seeing it pay off. And look, like some of the plays he made tonight are like just very confident. Yeah, like we talked about last season, and basically his entire career with the Blackhawks, Kirby Dach, and the lack of confidence that he had in his game, and you would see it, passing up wide open shots just to try and make a pass, or it just seemed like he had no confidence in his game. Whereas you watch Reichel now, he's making these small plays that are just like you see out of veterans. The assist on the first Athanasiou goal, he gets to the middle of the ice, Taves finds him from the boards, and instead of just kind of taking the puck and trying to like turn it and take it towards the net, he sees Athanasiou coming around his left shoulder and just quick drops it to him, and Athanasiou has a clear path to go right to the net and snipe it and score. Like that's knowing. I think that's what we talk about a lot of times with like hockey IQ and vision on the ice. That's seeing where your teammate is going, knowing what you just passed by in the lane that is getting created, and just saying like, hey, I don't have the best play. You're going to have a play. And just a little tap to get to Athanasiou, and boom, it's right there.
And that shows you
it's my John Madden impression.
That he is now getting the biggest challenge for all players that make the jump is the speed and the timing and the space. Mm-hmm. And yeah, through his first call-ups, you saw him struggle. Like he's throwing a pass to nowhere or he's taking too long. Now that he's got the timing down, it's not that he's not fast enough to keep up. It's brain processing. When they talk about the speed of the game, it's not these guys skate fast. That's part of it, but it's processing the play.
Yeah.
And Reichel, now that he's had this stretch, has been able to kind of slow the game down a little bit and process at an NHL speed. And I was thinking about this as you were making the comparison to Kirby Dach, right? Like we talk about prospects being rushed. Beyond that, you think about just even if you don't want to talk about Dach and Reichel specifically, you're a first-round pick. And you're thrown right into the league. That comes with pressure, right? Your mindset is, okay, they're trusting me to be an NHL player when the last game I played was in Kamloops. Right. You know what I mean? Like, there's a huge difference between junior hockey and the NHL, and that pressure comes on a kid. So the mindset is, I can't screw this up. I've got to be good. I've got to perform. I've got to produce. Meanwhile, you have a prospect that maybe is over-ripening, like Lukas Reichel, where there's nothing more for him to prove in Rockford. He's dominating. He's over a point-per-game player. And his mindset is, they got to give me a chance so I can prove to them that I belong. Mm-hmm. That's two different thought processes from the same kind of prospect, similar kind of player, right, of the fear of, I'm up now, I have to perform, to get me the F up there.
Yeah.
I want to show them I can perform. That's a totally different approach on the ice. And I think we saw, even though Lukas Reichel would never say it, he was probably a little bit frustrated that, A, he didn't make the team out of camp, B, that when he got called up the second time more accurately, when he had, 4 points in 3 games and I got sent down, he's like, what the hell? I've shown you I can do this. Now he's got the chip on his shoulder. Now he comes up and he's like, you're never sending me down again. You can't send me down again. I think that's something that can't be, that can't be ignored. I think that does matter. The fear mindset of someone like Dach and the I'm going to show you that I belong mindset of somebody like Reichel, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah, there was actually some worry after that send down because for the first 4 or 5 games, Lukas Reichel looked like a player that was like, I don't want to be here. I shouldn't be here, and he wasn't wrong.
He was not
and
wrong.
then he got back to where he is and got that confidence. So now he's playing like that. And you talk about confidence. you mentioned Kirby Dach. That's a great example. But look at what confidence has done for two players on this Hawks team as well. Let's start with Philip Kurashev.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy that Jay, as you just talking about the speed of the game and the timing. That's a guy that it started to click for this year.
Yep.
And he had told me early in the season that the fact that he's got a coaching staff that has confidence in him and says you're a top 6 guy, that's where you're playing this year, not the up, down, out of the lineup in Rockford, make a mistake, I'm not playing tomorrow. That goes a long way. And look at Boris Tkachuk and what confidence can do for a player. This guy, the last 10 games, as much as we, mostly me, us as a collective have said,
Yeah.
Dude, if we get this Boris Tkachuk for 82 games, you've got yourself a pretty decent fourth line, third line guy.
Absolutely.
He's shown that he's got the talent. And he spoke after Sunday's game against the Devils, I believe it was, or maybe it was after the St. Louis game. What it was one of the what was the game where Radish they had that little conversation
the back and forth.
That was
that St. Louis?
It was either St. Louis or the Devils. One of those two games. It had to be St. Louis because I didn't do post game for Devils. You did, right? Yeah.
I did.
Whatever. Recently. Boris Tkachuk spoke after a game. It was that St. Louis game. And he has said that, like, at some point in the season, and Luke Richardson said it after that game too. He said early in the season, December, he was at rock bottom. He admitted. He said he had zero confidence. His game was shot. He couldn't do anything right. And then all of a sudden, something just clicked, and he said, "I'm playing better because I feel better, and I'm confident, and my coaches are confident in me." And Luke Richardson said something just clicked. He'd fought all season to get back, got it. It's got some chemistry on his line, and he's rolling with it. And what does Luke Richardson do? He puts this line starting games. He's got them out against teams' top opponents. They were up a goal, empty net. What line is out there?
Yep.
It's Jujhar Khaira, Boris Tkachuk, and Joey Anderson. So confidence goes two ways. I think for some of these younger players, once they get the confidence from their coaching staff, that clicks in their head. So you don't have that fear of, well, if I turn the puck over here, I'm not seeing the ice again the rest of this period.
Yep, right.
Or I'm going to get healthy scratched the next game.
That's Nick Leddy.
He got traded. You're allowed to make mistakes. I think that's such a great way to handle some of these younger players who are in their second, third pro years. Hey, go out there. If you're going to screw up, fine. I'm going to put you right back out there. Just don't make that same mistake repeatedly.
Well, and Luke said it the other day too. I think we forget Boris Tkachuk started the season hurt, and I think I'll talk about myself. I don't want to speak for you guys, but I have this tendency of like, okay, well, he's back, so he's fine. They come back to the point where I'm ready to go out and play a game. It doesn't mean they're 100% healthy.
Right, yeah.
So not only was he hurt to start the season, he comes back. He's not 100% by any means. He's battling through whatever he was going through. Then the production isn't coming. We've talked about this many times before, but I know people don't watch every show. We go to practices. We watch this team practice, and they warm up, and they skate in circles, and they shoot on the empty net. And there were days where Boris Tkachuk would miss the empty net and just look up to the heavens like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me that I can't hit the back of an open net? The confidence was shot, as Luke said. And I do think, I don't want to just completely repeat what Greg said, but the fact that the coach is like, it's cool. Try again. Mm-hmm. Do it again. We have faith in you. And look, the three of us said, why is Boris Tkachuk still playing? Why is this guy still in the lineup? And that patience that Richardson showed has turned his game around. Now, does Boris Tkachuk matter to the long-term success of the next Blackhawks Stanley Cup team? I don't know. Probably not. But it's just, it are the signs we're seeing from this coach. Just like as we praise Kyle Davidson for looking 3-4 years down the road, Richardson's not looking at guys in the vacuum of a game or a week or a few weeks. He's like, hey, this guy's got all the tools. He's fast. He's big. He's got a nice shot. Let's work with him and get him back to where we think he can be instead of just giving up on him and scratching him and never seeing or hearing from him again. I think that stuff matters. I really do. And I don't know. I just love the culture that he is setting here. I really do. I just love what Luke has done.
Yeah, I think we've heard it from, a lot of players this year that the coaching staff, and the way that they communicate is been really effective. And it's not just Luke Richardson. Like, we had Derek King for the majority of last season, and the way that he works with players, the way he communicates with players, it's a little bit different than Luke Richardson in their approach, but the messaging is still there. The delivery is still there, and I think that's an important dynamic to have on a coaching staff. Is you don't want to have guys with conflicting too far conflicting styles, and you all got to be on the same page. And for new guys, I talked with Alex Vlasic, and he said, just beyond Luke Richardson, the way that Kevin Dean has been working with the defensemen this year, like that is something that is being really focused on from the defensive group. So I think the whole coaching staff is been really good this year for what the team has been hoping for, or has been trying to accomplish. And I think, when you talk about like setting culture and everything, Luke Richardson is the top of that chain, but it funnels down. Yeah. Like the coaching staff is a big part of it. And I think it's going to be what we're seeing is a conducive environment for, teaching moments, even with a more veteran roster that they have now that they're probably going to have in the next season or two. It's opening up an environment where, it's going to be good for young players to step in and know like how the coaches are going to communicate and how they can relate to, this kind of next generation of player. Whereas kind of the old school mentality of trying to just beat down a player when they're a prospect to get it into their head about, less than X, Y, Z or whatever. It just doesn't work anymore. So I think that is going to be something that we're seeing now. That's really going to pay off in the next season, 2-3 years down the road, when the roster becomes younger and when there's going to be more teaching moments for them to learn from and not be punished for.
We've got to do our fourth stars of the game, but first we got some super chats to pay off. Ellen K with a super chat, $5 says, does Nick Ritchie get credit for 2 hits on his play in the last minute of the second? Yes, he took out 2 Blackhawks. That was pretty funny. And then Nick Parts says, am I crazy about not worrying too much about these last handful of games because the ping pong balls effectively determine our fate? Yeah, I mean, look, if the Hawks finish with the worst record in the league, they've got a 75% chance of not getting Connor Bedard. And how many times have we spun the tank wheel where the number one team has not landed the number one pick?
Yeah, most times.
Yeah, most of the time. So
they're coming off an 8-game losing streak. They're doing their best.
They're not going to lose every game from here on out.
No, so
it's just not going to happen.
Can you be frustrated? Sure. Are you crazy for worrying? Yeah, maybe a tad. But, it is what it is. In the end, it's all about where the ping pong balls fall. Yes, it would be nice. It would be great to have the worst record so you can't fall below 3. That's the goal. And we'll see what happens. Hey, Lukas Reichel is going to go back to Rockford before those games are done, right? Is that? Or no, Vlasic's going back before.
Vlasic is
going back after
the road trip.
Reichel's playing the rest of the year.
Yep.
Man, maybe you send him back before that Flyers game. Just saying.
Maybe.
Get a couple practices with the Ice Hogs before their last weekend.
Yeah, you want to be ready.
Yeah.
He's got to now slow his brain down.
He's got to reacclimate.
He's going to be going too fast.
He's going to be processing too fast.
He's got to reacclimate himself to AHL.
Yeah.
We need him there. So maybe he skips that Flyers game. But we've said it after every win this year. You can't wring your hands over everything because in the end, nothing is guaranteed by where you finish. Yes, you want to set yourself up with the best odds, but if you don't, it doesn't mean any like it. We're gonna spin at least 5 times.
We have 5 spins.
We have 4 spins in the bank. We have 5 spins in the bank. If you want more, start smashing the like button. We have over 100 people.
100 for an extra spin.
We have over 100 people watching and only 51 likes. That math doesn't jive
That
with
does
me.
not add up.
So start hitting that big thumbs up. Get us some more likes.
Get those likes.
We'll get even more. We'll spend the whole second half of the show spinning the wheel if we have to.
That's right. All right, let's do our 4 stars of the game right now.
Sure.
The number 3 star of the game, the captain, Jonathan Taves, with 1 assist. He was a +1, 14:02 of ice time, which is 2 seconds more than the last game. Baby steps. Baby steps for Jonathan. Did not register any shot attempts at all. He had 1 takeaway and 1 7 and lost 10 of his faceoffs. But he is ramping up, and it's good to see him out there playing hockey. That's what matters. Your number 2 star for the Calgary Flames. What is it?
Calgassery.
Calgassery.
Calgassery. All right, I can go with that. Noah Hannafin, one of my favorite hockey names, by the way. Noah Hannafin. That's fun to say. A goal and assist. He was a +1, 21:42 of ice time, 3 shots on goal, 2 more shot attempts. That was good. And your number 1 star for the Hawks, Andreas Athanasiou, 2 goals, +1, 13:10 of ice time, 5 shots on goal, 2 more shot attempts, and he was 0-1 from the faceoff dot. So there is your number 1 star of the game. My 4 star, and I was surprised this guy was available, is Lukas Reichel. We spent a lot of time talking about him, so we're not going to rehash it. But like we said, 2 assists, +1, 13:41 of ice time, and a hit in this game. Another solid performance for Lukas Reichel, who is playing now at a 48-point pace.
Pretty amazing that he can affect the game as much as he did, and he didn't even have a single shot attempt of the night. And he was still one of the best players on the ice. That's impressive.
Yep. It's good stuff.
My 4th star of the game is a guy that did have a shot attempt.
Hey!
And it went past Jacob Markstrom, because Jacob Markstrom is a broken goaltender. Jujhar Khaira, good for him. You know, another one of these guys, much like Tyler Johnson, anytime they have some success, it's easy to root for them just because of all the injury problems he's had to overcome this year, last year. But he finished with a big goal as that 4th line continues to click. He had that was 1 of 2 shots, 4 shot attempts, had 3 hits, a takeaway, 2 block shots, and won 5 of 9 of his faceoffs. Man, that's getting it done. And 16:51 of ice time tonight. It's pretty good. It's one of the top ice times among the forwards, and he was out there with the game on the line. It goes to show you what Luke Richardson thinks of him in that line. So Jujhar Khaira, great game out of number 16. He's another guy. Bring him back next year too.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Sure, bring them all back. Why not?
Let's put the band back together again and go for 54 points.
Perfect. My 4th star of the night. Whoops, just lost his stats. My 4th star of the night, getting his first goal as a member of the Blackhawks, is Austin, don't call me Watson Wagner. He got that 1 goal on his 1 shot on goal, so 100% shooting. He had 6 hits tonight, leading the Blackhawks in that department. 1 giveaway, and 10 minutes and 38 seconds of ice time. So congratulations, Mr. Wagner. You get your first goal as a member of the Blackhawks after battling through that disgusting hand infection that I don't think we got to talk in detail about, which I think we'll skip that.
Yeah, we're good
for tonight's podcast. But good for him. Glad to see him get on the board. And was the difference in the game.
All right, there you have it. There are our 4th stars of the night. And hey, listen up, sports fans. Do you want 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news? Yes, you do.
Sounds good.
Do you want to stream live from any device? Indeed, you do. Do you want to watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price? Of course you do.
Sounds great.
Start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial of my preferred television provider, Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/CHGO. I tried a free trial last week, and 2 days later, I cut the cord and said, Fubo is for me. Why? Because it is the only streaming service where you can get Marquee Sports Net and watch every Chicago Cubs game. You could also watch every Blackhawks game on NBC Sports Chicago with Fubo TV. You get 1,000 hours of cloud DVR at no extra charge. And remember, the Frozen 4 is upon us. It starts on Thursday. You're going to want to watch that. ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPNU, all available on Fubo TV. So use the link in our description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro, FuboTV.com/CHGO.
You're going to need all those channels through Fubo to keep up with all your sports betting that you're doing over on DraftKings, the official sportsbook of CHGO. And, hey, the Final Four just wrapped up. Congratulations to UConn on winning the national championship, and congratulations to LSU for winning the women's national championship as well. More drama in that women's final than the men's one, I would have to say. But hey, just because college basketball is over doesn't mean that the betting fun is over, because baseball season is upon us. Cubs and White Sox, they are in full swing. Haha, get it? Swing, baseball. I make jokes. Bet on those games. There's only 157 more opportunities to bet on those two teams, so get them while they're hot. And there's only a couple more games to bet on the Blackhawks if you want to use DraftKings to do that. Make sure that you are on DraftKings for their bonus bets. Those are always going to be fun to use. And what we love on this show, I think we're all big fans of it, the parlays that are already bundled together for you, so you don't have to go searching and
don't make me think.
Making your own bets. DraftKings will bundle them for you and say, here is a bet you can use just for you. So download the app now. You can sign up with the code CHGO. And when you do that, new customers, you can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's only with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Again, use promo code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details.
And that brings us to our DraftKings King of the Game.
There it is.
We need Tommy.
Matt Peck stole it.
We need Timmy Trumpet in here.
Yeah,
Andreas Athanasiou is our king of the game. Sorry. 2 goals, 5 shots on goal, a block shot, 13-10 of ice time. That is our DraftKings Sportsbook king of the game. Remember, use that code CHGO when you sign up for all sorts of goodies at DraftKings Sportsbook. And with that, I think it's time to update the Tankathon standings.
Let's do it.
Time to get upset, everybody. Time to get out on the ledge. Don't get struck by lightning.
They got to go 0-82. That's
all
the
right.
only way to get Bedard is to go 0-82.
Anaheim, Columbus, and the Asshawks are all tied with 56 points. However, the Asshawks are the 3rd spot in the tank standings because they have the most wins. So winning percentage is the typical tiebreaker. They all have 364 winning percentages. However, the Hawks have 25 wins to the Ducks 23 and the Blue Jackets 24. So that's why the Hawks are 3rd in the tank standings. San Jose and Montreal bringing up the rear with 59 and 66. Montreal's out of it. But remember, Canadiens fans, Patrick Kane was a 5-spot jump when the Blackhawks got him at number 1. All right, we did not hit 100 likes, which is just ridiculous.
I think I thought of what our poll question should have been tonight. I know we didn't have a poll question because we were late and all that stuff. Right. What do you like better? What should be the official name of the Calgary Flames? Are they the Cal-Assy Flames or the Askary Flames?
I like Askary.
Askary Flames. Yeah. Askary sounds like a South Park character.
Hey, it's Askary. Hey, it's Askary. Yeah. We're going with Tankathon? Because last week, Prospect Watcher...
Yeah, so Prospect Watcher did us some favors, but they're not very good at updating their standings.
Yeah, we got to be accurate. We got to be accurate.
Wake up, Prospect Watcher.
Boo the one Prospect
Stop watching
Watcher.
prospects and update your standings.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of prospects, we got some good updates on the prospects.
Well, let's
finish our
want to do
spins.
that first?
Are we close to 100 likes?
No.
Okay.
We're 30 away.
We can do it anyway. Yeah. So prospects in the Canadian Junior Leagues, Samuel Savoie and the Gatineau Olympiques, they unfortunately lost their game today. They lost to the St. John Sea Dogs. Wow. That was aggressive.
I don't have a hat.
That was aggressive. But they still lead the series 2-1. In the OHL, Ethan Del Mastro had 2 assists as the Sarnia Sting beat the Saginaw Spirit. They are up 3-0 in their series. I saw Flint Firebirds got a win against, who are they playing off the top of my head?
Some Canadian team.
Yeah, probably. No, I'm sorry. Flint is playing the Saginaw Spirit.
It's
a Battle of Michigan. Sarnia is, they're up 3-0 on whoever they're playing. I can't remember. But yeah, Gavin Hayes and Flint, they got a game in their series. They're down 2-1 to Sarnia. And then in the WHL, Connor Bedard is being ridiculous. He has, I think, 12 points in 3 games. So that's, ho-hum. But our guy, Jalen Lipin, 2 points tonight, 1 goal, 1 assist as the Tri-City Americans beat the Prince George Cougars. And I believe Tri-City now has a 2-1 series lead in that game. And then our trio of friends in Seattle, Colton Dock, Nolan Allen, and Kevin Korchinski, they win their game tonight. They have a 3-0 series lead over the Kelowna Rockets. And Nolan Allen with 1 assist tonight, so he's on the board. Good news for the Canadian junior prospects across the board for the Blackhawks. Ryder Ralston, non-contact jersey, or no longer in the non-contact jersey for the Ice Hogs, so that's exciting to see. Paul Ludwinski is signed with the Ice Hogs on an ATO. He is still nursing a ankle injury. And the Frozen Four starts on Thursday. We got Drew Comezzo and Ryan Green with Boston University. They are taking on top-seeded Minnesota. And then Michigan with Frank Nazar and potential future Blackhawks, Gavin Brindley and Adam Fantilli. They take on Quinnipiac. So that'll be exciting to start on Thursday.
And today, the aforementioned Gavin Hayes signed his 3-year entry-level deal with the Hawks.
Was that today?
That was today.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I felt like it was...
Actually, no, it was yesterday.
I was going to say.
Yesterday at 1. I don't know what day it is anymore.
He
feels
signed.
like a week ago. To be
Yeah,
honest with
he
you.
signed. So that's
So
cool.
there you go. All right. We are ready to spin a tank standings,
Yes.
are we?
And we did get the poll up. Which ass version of Calgary do you like better?
Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, it's
nicely
up.
done. Nicely done.
Calgassery.
Calgassery.
I like Lebowski's.
or
I like his entry there.
Calgassery.
the Ass Scary Flames.
Ass scary.
Ask Gary.
Ass Scary.
Isn't that the
Gary.
commissioner?
Ass Scary.
Yeah,
Ass-
usually. That sounds right.
Wow, it's 95-5 in favor of Ask Gary.
All right, well,
All right.
people have
I think
spoken.
we've got our answer.
we need
This
to
is
trademark
this is a
it.
democracy here at CHGO Blackhawks.
We need to trademark it now before South Park.
Cal
gets it.
Gassy has conceded and a bunch of policemen quit. All right, let's get to our tank standings, our tank spins here. We got 5 chances. So
One,
let's
two,
see how
3,
long it
4.
takes to get to number 1.
All right, here comes
Just
number
one
All
spin.
right,
That's all we
Tankathon.
need.
Nope.
San Jose,
Whoa.
Anaheim, Columbus,
Down to
Pittsburgh,
5.
Chicago. Nope.
Wait, so did Pittsburgh win it?
Yeah, because they can only go up
Yeah,
10
Pittsburgh won it.
at 1.5%.
Stupid Pittsburgh.
Well, it goes to show you. 1.5%
Good
chance.
thing they signed all those old guys.
All right.
All right, that one sucked. Let's
Let's
go,
go
to
into
number
the
2.
bank.
Spin
Next.
to down 4.
All right. No. Anaheim, San Jose, Columbus, Chicago.
right.
Pittsburgh again jumps 9 spots.
Jeez, get out of here.
This is
No one
bogus.
invited you to this party.
So we had one where the top team won.
All right. Here we go.
Again,
Anaheim,
see,
Philly,
All right,
Columbus,
so
Chicago.
Tankathon is
Tankathon
totally
sucks.
trying to screw us.
Tankathon is
It li-
obviously in the
It
middle.
listened to what we were saying
Yeah.
about the first overall team not
Tankathon
getting
is
it.
Can we
obviously
see?
in the
Let's
midst
see.
of a
I'm
Mighty
going to
Ducks
check
movie
Prospect
marathon.
Watcher and
You
see
know
if-
what? I think Tankathon is in this room. And I think Steven has been holding out on us this entire time.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't build
I
this
created
site when he's
Tankathon.
already created Tankathon.
All right, what do we got? 2 left.
Hold on. Wait a second. They still have not updated. Okay, we can't use. We can't use.
Oh, we got 2
Prospect
left. Let's
Watcher.
end on a high note here. Come on.
All right,
Come
a
on,
damn high
Tankathon.
note.
Stop listening to what we say.
Ugh.
My goodness.
San Jose, Arizona, Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago. Okay,
I don't like that.
It's number 5.
this is
The
it.
last
boy.
one.
Is this 5?
Send us home on
This is
our
number
winner.
5.
Send us home on at
There
least
we
the top
go.
3. Back to
Montreal,
Wow.
Columbus,
Down the board.
Anaheim.
Second year in a row, Montreal gets the
Chicago,
number 1 overpick.
San
I don't
Jose.
like that at all
Yeah,
either.
screw that. Montreal
Tankathon
doesn't.
stinks.
Did Anaheim win at all?
They won like
They
3
won
in a row.
twice.
They won like the first 2 or 3.
They won twice.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
2 out of 5.
Well, you know what? I'm so upset. I'm taking tomorrow off.
Oh, that's why.
I'm upset about Sammy Savoie losing a game,
Yeah.
and us not winning the tank standings. So I'll see y'all on Thursday.
That sounds good.
Cool. I'm going to take that tomorrow off. Let's just take the whole
All right,
show
Steven, it's you and me. Woo! Here we
It's
go.
going to be a really interesting show with me on it. I don't know.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
No, Mario and I.
Just do what I do when people talk about the NBA. I agree. That's how you
just
do
need
it.
more shots on net, guys. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Pucks in deep.
Pucks deep, pucks
in
on
deep.
net,
Yeah, greasy goals.
and you gotta
Chip, keep it simple.
Gotta-
Pucks in deep.
gotta have good dumps.
Gotta need better dumps.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I know we got off to a late start today because we were down to one studio, and every Chicago team played today, including the Sting, which I thought was weird because they've been defunct for years. But hey,
Wow.
they got a game in too. So we're going to be back tomorrow. I am actually off tomorrow, but I will be back Thursday post game. Greg and Mario have got your show tomorrow.
Yes, it's
they're
gonna
doing
be-
a mailbag, ask us anything,
anything.
show feed show.
Opening the mailbag.
Yep, if you're on the Discord, the members own diehard Discord, get your questions there. You'll get top priority. Or we sent a tweet out. Shoot us a line on Twitter. Give us a question. Doesn't have to be about the Blackhawks. Doesn't even have to be about hockey. Let's have some fun tomorrow, and maybe we'll get some Blackhawks news to talk about as well.
And tomorrow's show 1:30.
1:30 p.m.
1:30
Yes.
Central Time.
An hour earlier because the Cubs have a early game and a post game show. So we're 1:30 tomorrow. We've got post game Thursday. Friday we'll be on at noon as of now.
Yes.
Yep.
Noon.
Maybe 11:30, but right now noon. That'll be a remote show,
Noon.
and then late night Saturday post game, Sunday morning.
Late night
post-game.
Saturday. Get
Early
your
Sunday morning, but at least we get to do that from home, which is nice.
get
Sounds
your
good.
Foco Sherpa Blackhawks hoodies ready.
There you
'Cause
go.
I will have mine.
All right. Thanks for listening. One final reminder, DraftKings Sportsbook is the official betting partner of CHGO in All City. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Thanks to Steven for running the show. For Greg and Mario, I'm Jay. We will talk to you tomorrow on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.